Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be part 2 of the Challenge Accepted series, Truth versus Lie. So I'll continue on to talk about my experience dealing with the heir property as well as to acquire the title. So let's get into the video. Thanks for watching. I believe I showed this before in my previous video. This is a page of the transcripts from when I had a deposition. There was a deposition to acquire a title by one of the individuals who were named as a defendant in the case, who also was claiming that to be heir descendant of Washington James. So I showed this before. Let me scroll in a little bit. All right. So y'all should remember these pages if you watch my other video. But here it is. These dots here in blue, I purposely marked in blue next to these question answers to where they're the individuals answering my lawyer's questions. My lawyer's questioning them. I'm present during this deposition, so I'm in the room with them, and the individual has their lawyer present too, because there was more than just one individual named as a defendant in the case, but the lawyer that's representing the defendants was present in the room at the law firm, along with me, my lawyer, and members of my family. So anyway, so when the question was, however you believe that you're related to one of those, how was that? Answer: Washington James and Martha Samuels has a son named Joshua Samuels. I'm a direct descendant of Joshua Samuels. Right. This is the deposition. This deposition. Excuse me. This deposition took place essentially, I believe it was 2 months or so prior to the qualified title action hearing in November of 2018. So this was August, September of 2018. Can I have the original copies? As I was saying, I have the original copies of the transcript. So, again, this is based on the truth, right, versus a lie or their version of truth. But continuing on. So that was a deposition. That was from the transcript from the deposition. And I have more to show. Let's talk about the qualified title action hearing, right? The 2-day hearing. And again, I have the transcripts to show what was said, what was not said during that 2-day hearing. So let's speak on it. Let's just get to it. So what you see on the slide here on the screen is, the first part of the first day of the hearing. Again, this is just preliminary. Some of the stuff is just preliminary stuff at the lawyer speaking to the judge, or I was even put on the stand as the lead witness, which I should have never been, but because there was other members of my family that could have either testified, but I testified to me doing the research along with members of my family and what we discovered to be a family tree. So everything was already entered on the record in the complaint. We built out our family tree based on, again, the research information that members of my family knew that was given to them. Right. So I'll go ahead and scroll in. Here. Yeah, let me scroll in. So on this page here, 61, I'm being cross-examined by their lawyer. Right, the same lawyer that was present during the depositions of the individual that said that they were heir descendant of Joshua Samuels, right, and that Joshua Samuels was the son of Washington James. So the lawyer is present. This is their lawyer. So he's questioning me. Here's the question: do you know these people have done back here in terms of research? You don't know that, do you? My answer is, well, if I may answer the question, based on documents that were presented in the previous case, they turned in some documents that reflect the genealogy, but it was very limited. So in that aspect, yes, sir, I do know. Well, how much time did they put into it? Answer: that I don't know. Right? He's trying to bait me. He tried to bait me to saying that his clients were heirs to the property. That I don't know that they're not heirs to the property, and I didn't say that. And at no point did I testify that they were not heirs to property. That was not my purpose. I don't know their family tree, that they can come there and make that claim themselves, and they did so. Some of them did so, not all of them, but that was not my intent. My intent was that I'm going to speak on what I know, let them speak on what they know, and let's see what the court says about all of this. Everybody had the opportunity to come forward and testify, and people did not want to come testify. And there's evidence of that. People can cry wolf all day and say this and that. People were notified. Whether they pay attention to those notifications, whether they took action or not, that's not on me. That's not on me. But continue on. So Mr. Pride, right, at this point, he's trying to move for a summary judgment on the question of who are the heirs in this litigation, on the basis that there is admission on the part of Mr. King that they are all heirs. Which, excuse me, please, Mr. King. So basically, he was saying something that I didn't agree with. And I said, I didn't say that. And, you know, like, so my lawyer interrupting him, say, don't talk to my client. Once a judge allows you to do so, sir, blah, blah, blah. Of course, said stop fighting. All right. So then he continued on that they are heirs based on the fact that the plaintiff has a burden of proof. I'm not giving no burden of proof. And see, he tried to. This is the first day. This is day one. We haven't got to very even line of questioning, right? So, but bottom line, the court at this point, motion denied. It doesn't mean that you can't come back. I got a couple of questions that y'all haven't asked that I like to ask. Here it goes. Here it is. Again, this is about the truth. This is about the truth versus their truth. Right? And my truth, the truth that I know, is going to line up with the truth. It's going to come out. Right? So he's talking. Yeah, he's questioning me. I'm on the stand now, under oath. Right? Do any of the, I answered something about no, sir. Question: Do any of these parties claiming to the best of your knowledge, claim an interest in the property? Answer: yes, sir. Okay. In all of your research, did you find any document to their ownership? Answer: I researched who are heirs. Who the heirs are? Excuse me. Whoever does not, the lineage does not trace back to Washington James and Toby Cox. So I'm not saying that they're not heirs. I'm saying that their lineage does not trace back to Washington James and Toby Cox. Again, about truth. He said, the judge said it. Based on your research, Mr. King, what have you discovered? Here it is. I give my answer. Question: and their names did not appear. Answer: no, sir. Now on page 65. Question: I think I recall one of the lawyers asking you, and I don't remember now which was Mr. Killian, which is my lawyer. I believe I asked you, did you discover any deeds to any of those designated as non-heirs? Answer: I have discovered any deeds conveyance of property to any of these parties. Yes, one, sir. Who were they from? It was to Rosemary Nelson, Washington James in 1980. It was to Rosemary Nelson from Wash James in 1983. There's a sales contract of the property. Question: from who? Answer: from Washington James to Rosemary Nelson in 1983. It was a sales contract for a undisclosed amount of property. Question: well, I thought Washington James died 100 years ago. Answer: yes, sir. Well, how could he make a deed? Answer: that I do not know, sir. This is day one. The judge is asking me. Again, I'm being questioned on my research. Hey, what? Right? But their lawyer tried to get a supplementary judgment prior to even his clients being questioned. Again, this is about the truth. This is about the truth. Not my truth, but the truth. And these individuals claim that they were heirs to Washington James, that they had rights to property. These are the individuals that took members of my family to court based on their transgressions, that they were plaintiffs in a case against members of my family who were defendants in the case. And they said that he had claims to interest of property by way of Tim and Laura Samuels, right, and Joshua Samuels and all these other Samuels, but provided no evidence whatsoever in providing their answer on paper. They provided a limited, generic lineage, but no proof, no birth certificates, no death certificates, no marriage licenses. As I said before in my other videos, they did not do that. I mean, my family did. But we'll get into that. Again, if you watch my other video, right, there was evidence submitted, information submitted as exhibits, plaintiff's exhibits, right, against her claims. But at no point in time did I testify against them as to being an heir or not being an heir. No words came out of my mouth saying that so-and-so is not an heir or so-and-so is. The judge asked me a question. I gave my honest answer under oath. These are the transcripts. All right, moving on. This is further into the hearing. Either day one or day two. I can't recall. I could go back and through, but you see we're on page 112. So that's like before was on page 60 something, right? Now on page 112. So you can say essentially this is probably the next day, right? But here it is. My lawyer, I believe my lawyer is questioning. Make sure this is right. Or a lawyer is questioning. Hold on, it says direct examination by Mr. Bride. Okay, so their lawyer is questioning his client. The defense's lawyer is questioning his client. So it's like, tell me how you were related in this matter. Answer, well, my mother's Mary Samuel. So this is the same individual that was disposed by my lawyer that said that she was the heir to Washington James by Joshua Samuel. All right, so her father is Listen Samuels, and her mother was Joshua Samuels. I'm sorry, her father was Joshua Samuels. And Joshua Samuels' father was Washington James and Mark Samuels. I really should be Marcus Samuels, but the court reporter is going to take down what she hears, right? What they hear. So let's fast forward to now by this again, continue questioning by her lawyer. What did you say after that? Listen, Samuel's father was Josh Samuels. Okay. All right. The same statement that was given during deposition. All right. So here it is. My lawyer is now examining, or going to prepare to examine the individual on the stand, the defendant, one of the defendants, right? The witness that. But Washington James is my granddaddy, Listen Samuel's grandfather. Okay. Continue on. All right. Now, I believe this is my lawyer. Yes, this is my lawyer questioning the individual on the stand. All right. And you heard Mr. King testify. Do you agree with his recitation of reciting of the genealogy? She answered, no, I don't. So they're talking about it, whatever. Next page. All right. Where does Josh Samuels fit into that? Answer. He's the firstborn of the 7 kids they had. So one, she's already wrong, because if they had 7 kids, I mean, actually, Washington James fathered 7 kids with Martha Samuel, so that would be the 8th child that they had together. Right? 8. Not 7, 8. Question. Who had? Answer. Wash James and Martha Samuels. Question. And you claim an interest in this property through Josh Samuels and then on down the line? Yes. Okay. Do you know who Doug Nolan is, or Douglas Nolan is? Answer. Who? Douglas Nolan. Have you ever heard of that name? Answer. No, I don't know that name. Question. Have you done any research into this family tree or this genealogy at all? Answer. No. Again, about the truth. Right? The judge questioned me. I say, Mr. King, in your research, and here it is. She provided no research. Let me back up further. Let me give context to why he's asking that question. Again, I'm sitting in the front table, right? I'm sitting right in front of the witness box, if I call it a box, the stand. The table's right there, like the table I got right here where my laptop and my stuff are on right now. And my lawyer will sit to my right. But yet he's up there questioning the defendant, the witness. So as he's doing that, guess what I'm doing? I'm writing the questions. As the witness is giving their answers, I'm writing stuff because I know in my mind. I've done my research. I'm handing a piece of paper to my lawyer to ask questions. And one question was, did she do any research? Did they do any research? The answer is no. Right here. She's no. Question. Okay, I'm going to hand you a copy of a death certificate. Oh. Oh my gosh. A death certificate. Could that be the death certificate or one of Martha Samuels and Joshua Samuels that I discovered that's been identified as a plaintiff exhibit number 8 and 9? Looks like August 12th, 2017. Again, that's a misspeak on his part, but that's of 1917, which is that of Joshua Samuels. And their lawyer is crying, right? He's objecting because, Judge, Your Honor, this was not handed over during discovery and blah, 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 blah. But yet, she didn't do no research. She did not do research. But yet, he's crying. He's making Judge, Your Honor, but yet, he wanted he wanted the supplementary judgment on day one after my testimony, by asking me a few questions saying that, oh, you just admitted that my clients were heirs of property, so look, we can all go home now. No, I didn't. He didn't want to discuss the other issues. He didn't want to discuss the other issues because he knew that they were not telling the truth. All right, my lawyer is, Mr. Killen, Judge, I'm not using this in my case as as exhibit evidence. Excuse me. I'm using it as an impeachment to it. So what he's trying to do is trying to impeach her, trying to say, well, she just perjured herself. She's giving testimony saying that, well, I'm going to use this document as evidence against her, so I don't have to turn it over to them. That's what he said. And in that case, I don't have to hand it over as discovery. I'm using this to impeach her statement. Right? Let's go. This is my lawyer speaking again. Yes, sir. Right? Continue questioning. Continue questioning the witness. Ma'am, I'm going to hand you this document. It's a death certificate from Marion County from 2017. I'm sorry, 1917. Do you see that? Can you read all that okay? What's that last name? Because it's not spelled correctly. What does that say on line number 2 beside full name? What does that say? Josh. I can't make out the last name. See, so now she's just trying to make stuff up, like trying to deflect and try to, backpedal and okay, all right. It's not spelled correctly. Does not look like Samuels. It's not spelled like Samuels. All right. It looks like a U, not an L in there. Kuda Matata. Right? Whatever. You spell it this way, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. At this point, you all agree with me that the first name is Josh, correct? Yeah, that looks like Josh. Question. And it's a death certificate for Josh Samuels in 1917, correct? She answered 1917 as a question, not more of a statement. Right? And then, question, what's the date at the bottom there, ma'am? What's that? We'll say right there. August 12th, 1917. All right. And it says full name Josh Samuels. I understand you said you can't read it, and it says, as it says, name of mother. What does that say? It's supposed to be Martha, but it's not like Martha. Question. Looks like Martha Samuels to me. Where is it? Question. Doesn't that say Martha Samuels? Where does it say a name of mother? Answer. Martha is not spelled like that. All right. Does not appear to say Martha Samuels, ma'am. Answer. I'm going to be honest with you. All right. I couldn't tell you if that's Martha or not. All right. Name or father. Is your belief that Joshua Samuels' father is Washington James, correct? What does that say right there where it says name of father? Answer. I don't know what that says or what that is. Question. It says Doug Nolan, doesn't it? You agree with that? You agree with that, won't you? I don't even know what that is. All right. So there it is. Again, the truth. Well, let me pull up. Let me pull up the death certificate. Let me pull the death certificate of what I've shown before. I've shown this. I've shown this before. So let me pull this up. Give me a second here. Apologize. Which one is it? I believe it's this one. Yep, there it is. Joshua Samuel. Right. So he's my lawyer's asking. Right, where it says mother Martha Samuels. It's supposed to be Martha, but it doesn't look like Martha. I'm not sure that's a Samuel. But where does it say the father? Don't know. Dot Nolan. Doug Nolan. Does it say Nolan? Does it say no? I don't know what that is. But as it say there, Josh Samuels. Right? August 1917. Right, the day he died. The day that it was signed, August 12th, 1917. Plaintiff's exhibit number 8. This was entered into record. This was allowed to be into record. And there's only one Joshua Samuels that was identified in the census report during this period of time from 1880 to 1910. There's only one Joshua Samuels that was named, that was listed in Marion County, Wauhee Township during that period of time. Again, this is about the truth versus lies, or the lie. Not my truth, not their truth, but the truth. You know, it's just crazy that, you know, individuals don't want to tell the truth. I get it. They're probably embarrassed of not knowing. Again, I was called an idiot. I was being, hey, you make a fool of yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. We're family. Yeah, maybe so. And disputing that, and I showed, you know, I showed it in the PowerPoint presentation. I broke it down, right, that Washington James had two families. This is even in the article, the PDQ, that was published in July 2011. That Washington James had two family members. Two families, not two family members, two families. His wife, family with his wife, his son, and Martha Samuel. You know, and their children. Right? Let me pull this up. You see it on the slide here. Let me scroll in. Washington James had a mistress, but had 7 children with her. But yet she had a relationship with some other man who fathered Joshua Samuel. So in essence, his children and Joshua Samuel's are siblings, right? So we are cousins. We are cousins to the Samuels. Ain't no disputing that, and never argue that. Never, but they're not heirs to Washington James. Nothing sense to Washington James, so they have no rights to the property because their mother is not on the deed to the property. Even though we're family, that's fine. But you don't have rights to this property. They don't have rights to this property. But my James family, not just my James family, but my other side of the family, my Cox family, they have rights to this property. And they have the right to be identified as having rights to this property. That's the whole point of quiet title. They're quiet title because the original owners of the property are dead. But yet I was told that y'all had no business going to court. You had no business doing that. You're not even an heir yourself. But I have an interest in the property, the way of my mother. You know, they didn't want to go through with it. They didn't want to deal with it because what? Why I gotta prove? Why I gotta why? Because the law says for you to do it. Again, there's documentation proving all of this. This is not me just talking. This is not just my truth. There's proof. There's evidence. Prior to me coming home, prior to me getting involved in 2016, the individuals that were being sued, and they had the evidence. It's just that the evidence wasn't presented during the court, during the cases. And essentially everyone's mad because here comes Clifton King. Who is he? What is he trying to accomplish? Again, there's members of my family right now that are going around spreading false information, a false narrative that I'm trying to sell this property. I want it for myself. I want it for me and my family. That little old me, I'm trying to sell this property. What's the end game? What's your, first of all, my end game is to preserve and protect the property. It's already in the complaint. In the previous complaint, in this complaint, and other documents, is words have come out of my mouth during meetings where I've said that, and they're part of the meeting minutes. They're part of the recording of those meetings. At no point in time did I say that I'm trying to sell the property. At no point in time, those words never came out of my mouth. They're not on paper. They're not. I did not speak those during any meetings whatsoever. But people are trying to say that I'm trying to sell this land for myself. I'm trying to build generational wealth for me and my family. Again, this is about the truth. Not just my truth or their truth, but the truth. That's why courts exist, right? People can come to court and provide their statements, give their opinions on what they think, and hey, based on the truth, based on hearsay, based on whatever. It's up to them. And up to me. I'm gonna tell the truth. I was sworn under oath. I'm gonna give my truth, which is the truth. Right? They made claims. They made claims that they had an interest in the property. I didn't make that claim. They made that claim. On paper. On paper, they made that claim. And documents were submitted to different lawyers, to the court, whatever. That's on them. But I want to show you two more documents real quick before I wrap this up. One of the documents, right, is you recall that their lawyer represented he had multiple clients, right? And his client, one of his clients, was exposed during, again, made a claim that, hey, Joshua Samuels is the son of Washington James, during the deposition, and then during the hearing, the 2-day hearing, so the exact same thing that, and not just her, but other individuals as well. And I'm gonna leave that for another day, for another video, for another time. But that lawyer, the lawyer that represented him, right, in December of 2019, this is nearly a year, and say a year and a month after the hearing, quite a title. Now, at this point, I'm going to give some context to this, what I'm saying. At this point, a year has passed. We essentially reached an agreement during court that we're still on quite a title. People still have to provide the testimony evidence to support their claim, right? Because the judge got to sign the order. But in the meantime, we're going to appoint a temporary board, which I sat on as one of the managers, right? I held a position as a manager, not just the manager, but a manager, meaning that there was more than one manager. And there was supposed to be 5. We had 5 individuals. And this board was supposed to manage this property to get things on track. But nonetheless, right? So a year and a month has passed. So December of 2019, let me back up, sorry. Let me back up. I'm forgetting one thing, one key point here. That in November of 2019, so essentially a year later, the judge who heard the case called us back to court to talk about the order, talk about, hey, what status was going on, because he's ready to sign it. He's ready to sign this order. But there was a discrepancy that, there wasn't a court reporter, so it was just a conversation between the judge and 3 lawyers. One of the lawyers was appointed as a guardian ad litem. If you don't know that term, I can leave a brief description about that term, legal term, in the in the box below, description area below. Again, about guardian ad litem, or you can look up yourself. So there's 3 lawyers involved in this case now. My lawyer, the plaintiff's lawyer, defendant's lawyer, third lawyer, the guardian ad litem to represent the John Doe and Mary Roe of the heirs, as well as individuals that may have been in military service who cannot be in attendance for that reason, right? And again, that's for another video. That's for another time. I can discuss that as of what the guardian ad litem is and role's responsibility, or you can do your own research. But I may make a video. But nonetheless, you see on the screen here, I'm pulling the screen up, that their lawyer questioned to be relieved. Well, I actually filed a motion to be relieved of counsel, to be relieved of their counsel, represent his clients. So here it is. Motion to be relieved as counsel. There's the names. My name, my mother's name, and other members of my family's name is in there. This is clocked. This has been clocked now. This has been stamped by a clerk of court. This is in 2019. Comes now the undersigned counsel for the defendants and moves this honorable court for an order relieving him as counsel for the defendants and name above caption matter. This motion is based on the following to wit. The undersigned voluntarily resigns representing the defendants, or for based on the above, the undersigned prays that the honorable court will grant hearing motion and issue an order relieving him as counsel for defendants in above caption matter. All right, so there's motion to be relieved as counsel. This might be a duplicate page. Sorry. Yeah, this is a duplicate page. My apologies. But oh no, it's not. So there it is. Order to be relieved as counsel. Right, but this went before the judge, the same judge now that presided over the hearing until the hearing acquired a title. It came before him March 2nd of 2020. So this was filed in December. You saw the date on it, right? December 4th of 2019. December 4th of 2019. And this is a public document. This is a document that was filed to the court. It's clocked and stamped. So it went to the courts. It went through the clerk of courts. Was the role responsibility for all documents that are being pushed through the court. Right? This is receipt of it. This is receipt that this was processed through the court. And it got to Mr. Haig Porter, who was the special referee for the hearing, who questioned on the stand as to, Mr. King, based on your research, what have you discovered? Oh, Judge, Your Honor, here's what I discovered. Here's what. He signed it March 2nd, 2020, and signed by my lawyer, too, as proving it. So their lawyer resigned as counsel in March of 2020, but he filed it in December 2019. Why is that? 1 month, essentially, actually a few weeks after that meeting in court in November 2018. Matter of fact, it was November 18th of 2018. So essentially 2-3 weeks after. Why is that? Could it be that his clients were not forthcoming with information? Or not providing information that he needed? We're not cooperating. We're making arguments. Now this is, and still, I'm one of 5 managers. Dealing with, 2 of his clients were also managers. So we are doing things based on the agreement to manage the property until we get things on track. So March 2020, the judge ready to sign it. The judge was ready to sign this order in November of 2019. But things are being delayed. So then their attorney files a motion to be relieved of counsel in December of 2019. And then it goes before the court. It goes before Mr. Haig Porter in March 2020. And he signs it. And then he passes it on to my lawyer. Signs it. That's big. But let's show this last document. on the screen here that you see. Again, this is about the truth, man. This is about not my truth, not their truth, but the truth. And people had the opportunity to come forward and be a part of this, and they, whether they agree or not, whether they chose, that's out of my control. You know, I've been accused of committing fraud. I've been accused of lying. I'm accused of all this stuff. I've been, called idiot, bitter, petty, foolish, that the devil. Not just me, but my mother. We've been assaulted. We've been attacked verbally, in writing, and Facebook, and emails, and meetings, and y'all had no business doing this, y'all. Really? Okay, well, that's the case, and those individuals who took my family members to court had no business because they made false claims, false statements under oath. And again, this is, I'm not saying it, it's in writing. It's in writing, right here. So what you see on the screen is the order. And it's several pages, like 30-something pages. So I'm going to scroll down to the last few pages, and I want we're going to read it together. We're going to go to see what's it say. Again, remember that their lawyer resigned as counsel, and they were served one of the defendants received that order where he said that I relieve myself as counsel. And they also received this order too. I have the application to prove it. Again, all it has to be processed through the court. This last page 35 of 38 pages, it says here on line 176. I can scroll up. Yeah, 176. Based on the foregoing is ordered, adjudged and decreed that a judgment shall be entered acquiring title in and to the property in the heirs described herein against defendants and others those that stated in paragraphs 173, 174, and 175, supra, and others in all the world. So here it is. This order is quite entitled. And guess what? Those individuals that claim to be heirs to Washington James, by way of Joshua Samuels, their names are not in this order. Why? Because we presented evidence to say that they're not, and that they did not come back by way of their lawyer to provide evidence that says that they are heirs to Washington James or they are heirs to these other individuals. Again, no birth certificate, no death certificates, no marriage licenses, or any other documentation to support their claims. And they had more than a year to do so. They had, again, this complaint was filed in 2017 to acquire the title. In 2018, November of 2018, they had a 2-day hearing on it. And then a year later, November 18 of 2019, the judge called the lawyers to court again. But then a month later, nearly 3 weeks later, 2-3 weeks later, their lawyer, the defendant's lawyer, resigned as counsel, filed a motion to relieve the counsel for his clients. For what? I don't know. I can assume, I can speculate, I can make my own educated guess that either they didn't pay him, they owed him money, didn't pay, or they were not cooperating. They were not forthcoming with information. Again, not based on my truth, their truth, but the truth. Truth versus the lie. Let's get to the truth. And here it is. Regarding ad litem, providing his findings. Right? It says here, I am satisfied upon reading the report that the interests of any possible unknown heirs in procedural were procedurally protected and accounted for. I find, given the necessity of the ending this litigation, that any interest of any possible unknown heir or heirs is terminated and foreclosed by the underlying action. Here it is. I mean, this is 38 pages. The last few pages were just, legal administration stuff, orders, agreements. But I mean, all of this is my family tree. This is genealogy from page from page, right, page 10 to page, let's go, 35. 25 pages of genealogy information. And this is about the truth. Not my truth, not their truth, or anyone else's truth, but the truth. And if my truth and their truth, or whoever's truth, lines up with the truth, then so be that. But I'm done being beaten up with it. I'm done being beaten up for standing up and speaking up. And those individuals who claim they have interest in property are not doing it. You know, I'm a man Ray J. Like Ray J, he has his right to speak the truth. It's not right that people are dragging his name through the mud and lying on, thinking that he's a bad guy, he's a villain. That all this time that people believe that he leaked that video, those videos, the sex tape, but it wasn't. It wasn't him. There was agreement. There was a deal between all parties involved. And I can say that members of my family and others, prior to me coming home in 2014 and getting involved in 2016, members of my family and others tried to do this, and it didn't work out for them. They were taken to court for their right, the conspiracy of trying to take over the land and do this, that, and the third. Again, there's documents, there's evidence. I have it all in my office. Yeah, that's for another video. But this is the truth versus a lie, or their version of the truth. Okay, well, I think I said enough. I think I showed enough. Again, if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, share my channel as well. Again, we'll push out more videos. Travel videos are coming. Reaction videos are going to be coming. I'm gonna, just trying to figure out what videos to make. But you can also follow me on Instagram as well as TikTok. Still Fourth King Media. Thanks again for staying with me and tuning in. And again, I hope this video was educational. I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was informative. But yep, see you next video. Take care. God bless. Thank you. Bye. Peace.